whizzing cars, soccer moms. I witnessed it all from my window seat at a small coffee shop a few blocks from my office. Here my mornings were like routine, similar to the movie Groundhog Day. Everything followed the same predictable pattern. I'd grab my mug of coffee from the barista's counter at Gregory's Cafe, mosey on over to the seat near the corner window, sit, and just stare out of the tall glass. I love to people watch. You can learn so much from just watching people than listening to them talk or tell you about themselves. We are innate liars. So naturally, we share the things we love about ourselves and hide the flaws we hate. But the way we moved around not knowing anyone's watching revealed our true character. The way we walk, what we allow to steal our attentions. For instance, cellular devices held the attention of most people who passed by my window, completely unfocused and self-absorbed. Others would stare out in front of themselves, mindlessly lost. Some people were happy, bright-eyed and smiling for no reason, while others appeared stressed. TV had its interesting programming, but TV couldn't compare to my window seat view. I lifted my mug to my lips to take another sip of my coffee when my phone chimed in my purse. I sighed. Who the hell is this? I asked myself. I glanced at my phone screen and noticed it was my assistant calling. Veronica? I know, Veronica replied. It's before 7 a.m. and you don't like me or anyone calling you before 7 a.m. Aware of this and still calling me. It's just that I got a call from your 8 a.m. appointment asking if she can meet with you 30 minutes earlier. And you told her, I quizzed. Veronica sighed. I remember this is one of our agency's biggest deals, and you told her, I asked again, this time with more bass in my voice. Joelle? There are rules for a reason, I interjected. My me time is not just for me, it's for everyone else too, because I'm not as nice as I am without it. Veronica giggled. You could have waited until 7 a.m. to tell me she wanted to move the appointment up. Is this true or false? But she true or false? True. It's always true with you, Mrs. Victors. I smiled. You are well aware you don't need to call me that, Veronica. Me seeing him in my peripheral made me perk up in my seat and damn near end the phone call immediately. Tell her 8 a.m. is fine, and remember, never to call me before 7 a.m. See you soon. I ended the call. Every morning at 6:45 on the dot, this beautiful Saharan-skinned Adonis of a man would enter through the front door of the coffee shop. The man had immaculate features, chiseled jawline, beautiful eyes, hair always shaped up perfectly with neat edges, an enticing physique, broad shoulders, and strong arms. He had height, body, and model good looks. He wore a platinum and diamond wedding band around his left ring finger. Like me, except I had the engagement ring to match. See, the shame in looking didn't matter to me, staring even. I couldn't say the same for the fantasies, though. As a married woman, the fantasies I had of this man had to be borderline sinful. I'd created X-rated films in my mind starring just him and I. I imagined him being someone important wherever he went outside of the coffee shop. Someone who people waited on hand and foot. I imagined his wife eagerly waiting for him to return home just so she could glaze into his eyes, uninterrupted, and feel his loving hands caress her skin. Yep, Every morning, like clockwork, when he'd walk through those front doors, he'd get my attention, but I assumed he never noticed. On that day, he arrived dressed in a suit, a tailor-made three-piece navy blue suit that molded to his body like the seamstress sewed it, only with him in mind. He wore minimal jewelry, the diamond stud in his ear, his wedding band with the cluster of diamonds around his ring finger, and his platinum and diamond watch around his wrist caught the light with each step he took. His walk, well, his walk commanded your attention. I don't care how busy you claim to be, you'd pause whatever kept you busy just to stop and stare. Every weekday morning, he either dressed himself in a suit or wore workout gear. He wore expensive running sneakers, so he had to be a runner. I assumed he had sufficient stamina. Because of this, I imagined that being a huge plus for his wife. Like routine, my mystery man would order a large cup of coffee to go. As he waited for his daily caffeine fix, he'd stand at the barista counter with his attention down on his phone. From my seat, I'd watch his brows furrow, his jaws get tense. Other days he'd smile and nod at what he saw on his phone screen. And when he got his coffee, like every morning, he'd walk through the side door of the coffee shop and would glance at me. I'd smile, then turn away coyly, pleased by his acknowledgement even for that moment. This morning differed. Instead of exiting out the side door, he walked back near the front entrance where I sat by the window. The change in routine almost made me choke on my coffee. He walked slow, taking a sip from the spout of his coffee cup, his eyes down on the phone. And when he got close enough to the door, he moved his view from his phone and focused his eyes on me. "Good morning," he said, flashing me a smile. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out the first time. Then I cleared my throat and tried again. "Good morning," I said back, returning a smile. "You enjoy this beautiful day, okay?" he said as he continued out the shop's entrance. When he got outside and approached the crosswalk, he looked over his shoulder to find me still staring at him. "Shit," I said to myself. I quickly dropped my view to my lap. He was far enough across the street when I finally dared my eyes to seek and find him again. Well, that was different.